When you launch your creatives on Meta, this is how it will look. You'll have your ad 1, ad 2, they look exactly the same creative, being shown to certain type of audiences, but still, one will buy and one won't. The question is now, why is that so? So let's say we have our creative right here, it's being pushed to Meta, we have an audience that will buy it and another one that will just pass and scroll. And the thing is that we all have different mindsets. If we take our mindset and we divide it in angle A, B, and C, most of the people will just say, oh, we're not targeting right. We need to have and define a better targeting when we do our campaigns or guide better the algorithm. But the truth is, the question that you need to ask yourself is, what story do you have for each buyer type? So let's say we have this premium standing desk sold for $5.99. You need to ask yourself, who is my target? And we can have in this example the remote employee, the content creator, or even the startup founder. And most of the time you guys are making a one-size-fits-all creative. You try to make something that targets everybody. But this only results in having a bad ROAS, a bad return on ad spend. Instead, I want you guys to follow this, the audience creative fit framework. You define an avatar. This avatar has dreams, fears, personality, and most of it has a story. Each avatar is completely different, so you have to remember that one avatar equals one story. If we still take our example with the premium standing desk, and we have our startup founder, his dreams will probably be about having a great workspace, a nice way of life, and a team pride. His fears will be, it might be bad investments, or this desk might be poor quality, it's just wasted team time. And finally, we know that this startup founder has probably a personality of being a busy CEO, an entrepreneur with also a lot of things on his mind, and so on. So, the story will be something like, you're not buying furniture, but you're switching your way of life. And we have another example with the iPod. Back in the days when the iPod was launched, it was never about having like a 5 gigabytes hard drive or some blazingly fast firewire or rechargeable like lithium batteries. It was never about this. No, iPod was 1,000 songs in your pocket. And this slogan is exactly what made them sales and sales and sales over time. Now, when you push your creative on Meta, you want to divide your different angles, A, B, and C, in different ad sets. Each ad set will target a specific avatar, story, dreams, personality, fears, and even using a specific lexical field. Because yes, the startup founder will not speak the same way as the remote employee or as the content creator. And after, Meta will decide which ad set, which avatar it's going to push with his algorithm and make the most of the sales. So when you do your CBO, you want to target ad set 1, remote employee, ad set 2, content creator, ad set 3, startup founder for the example. But that's not it. You can also subdivide in what we call sub-niches. For example, with a content creator, a sub-niche can be faceless UGC creator. Another sub-niche can be the streamers, the YouTubers. Or finally, we can have the third sub-niche, which will be gamers. To do so, the first step will be the hook. The hook has only one goal. It's to speak to the right audience immediately. So the audience recognizes himself and we can be hooked and know, okay, what is there inside for me? And let's say you want to speak for the sub-niche number 1, faceless and UGC. You can start by something like, as a UGC creator, I spend a lot of time editing. Or if you speak to streamers, to YouTubers, you can start by something like, most of my streams are done sitting while I could be standing. Finally, for gamers, we can start by something like, I spent 10 hours sitting gaming yesterday, and continue with the body. Now, the goal of subdividing these things is simply that if I target here faceless and UGC people, I will exclude the streamers and the gamers to focus only on that type of sub-niche. Same goes with the streamers and YouTubers. I can exclude the gamers and I can exclude the content creators as well. And finally, for the gamers, I can focus essentially only on gaming people and exclude the YouTubers, the streamers, or the content creators. And I want to add, it's not the only way. In fact, what we do internally with our own team is what we call the funnel creative method. The funnel creative method is, the goal is really to catch a maximum of people, a maximum of audience, and then narrow it down thanks to our custom body and thanks to a custom CTA, so that the people that are landing to our landing page are really qualified and are the exact type of people we want to reach. It starts already with the broad hook. We have over 100 viral hooks that we have on a Google Drive. Those hooks have been proven to be catchy. And I'm sure that most of them you saw already on social media because, they're so, what's going on right there? You want to see what's going after. If we continue with the custom body, the goal is really to speak to our sub niche or sub audience so that I recognize myself at the beginning. Now here's the message. And this message will lead directly to the CTA. The goal of the call to action is really to make an incentive of why I would have to go on the other side, why I would have to leave the platform today, right now. What is there on the other side? So saying simply, check it out right there, it's not enough. Today we have 25% off. Today we offer free shipping. Today you buy 2, you get 1 free. This is basically what the call to action is all about. So yes, you need to open your own content creation factory to do so. Your content creation factory is super easy to do today. You have tools like TikTok, like CapCut, Instagram, or Canva that can help you to build quality content and also in a large quantity. The goal is not to launch all your ads immediately on Meta because this costs money. Instead, you have an alternative that is completely free. For example, on Instagram, you can use what is called the trial. And trial allows your reel for the 72 first hours to be displayed only to non-followers, which means that you create your reel A, B, and C, and you push that on the trials. Only non-followers, which means also broad audience, will be able to see that. And then you can determine who is the winner with the most views, likes, comments, or shares. And this winner, you can later on push it on Meta ads and therefore having a high return on investment. But same goes also with TikTok. A very smart man called Gary Vee said that TikTok is the only platform that won't punish you to post multiple times the same content, which means that you can have a reel A posted on June the 10th, having a low amount of view. The exact same reel you're gonna repost a few days after, June 15th, gonna attract more views, or having like 10 days from the first time, same reel, June the 20th, and having a maximum of views. So it's not because you're posting only once, you say, oh no, this reel didn't work. This reel didn't catch the right audience. Try with platforms like TikTok to multiply the schedule of the same reel so that you multiply also your chances of being seen. Most of you guys have also excuses. Yeah, I don't have the budget for it. Guys, this is completely free. Or I don't have the ideas for that. You have the resources. For example, the 100 viral hooks that are directly for you here. Or I don't have the enough time. Again, it takes literally 5 seconds to post on TikTok or Instagram in order to know if your creative has a potential of monetization or not, thanks to the ads later on. Once we can validate these reels or these different TikToks we tried, we can after safely push them on paid ads because they have already the organic validation. So I want you guys to believe only in one thing, which is consistency. If you can respect and have a content creation schedule, for example, you put every single day one TikTok, one Instagram reel in trial, and you continue to be consistent over the weeks, I can assure you that after a few days and weeks, you can already split this creative is good, this one is bad, and then pushing it on Meta and after making the sales. Because we have only two ways. There's the old way and there's the new way. The old way was to make 1 to 3 creatives only. You let it run for a year. And once it dies, once your creative dies, you just say, okay, I'll move on to the next product. But this is only for the losers. It only goes down. Like, okay, pump and dump scheme. But the new way is to make consistently creatives. For example, 1 per day, 7 creatives per week. New creatives that you add frequently in order to replace those that haven't performed, those that haven't spent, because Meta or TikTok will think this creative doesn't have enough potential. So we replace it. And your brand never dies. It always improves, which means you can scale and scale over the time. Because yes, branding is a long-term game. If we continue with the old way, yes, you can save the budget, but it's also an ADHD style because you will always search for the new dopamine kick, always search for the new trend, the new product to be launched, and you will never focus fully 100% on branding and long-term value. But this is only poor reward because your brand will be dead after a few months and you will never learn from your own mistakes. While with the new way, yes, it requires more budget, yes, it requires time, but this is also a long-term game, which means you will have a high percentage of returning customers. And this high percentage will lead to having high rewards. You will be proud to be the owner of a long-lasting brand and you will dominate the market, outperform the competition, and make once again way more cash. So ask yourself this. Do you prefer to be the brand owner of a $5 cheap sunglasses brand that breaks after being used 3 times, has bad sunlight protection and only attracts a few peasants? Or do you prefer having like a high quality brand, for example here Ray-Ban, lasts for 10 years, has high quality protection and style, and attracts also a lot of people? Because even if not everybody can afford Ray-Ban, everybody still knows that Ray-Ban is qualitative. So quality matters over quantity, because with quality you can have one powerful brand, you can have lots of returning customers, and you can have high perceived value. While on the other side, you're only launching trash products over and over again. You never have the time to test them to see if they're actually working and solving the problem. You will have only angry customers and you have low perceived value, which is never scalable. So I want to tell you guys, the choice is completely yours. Today, you can follow all these guys that tell you to move on because the fault is on the product. The fault is never the product. The fault is having not the right marketing skills in order to make the right sales. This is why we see today brands like Philips that are selling, for example, this postural fixer to make your back right 10 years after it went viral, because this product was super viral in the years 2015, 2016. Now 10 years after, Philips, the big brand, is putting this on the market. It's a saturated product. Everybody's seen it. But still, if they push it, again, it's not because of the product. It's because they do have the skills, the branding and the marketing and the authority to do so and to push it on the selected market. I hope this video helped you guys. If you need more information, check the description right below and I will see you in the next one.